Hey BNB, it's the Vez 2. We're going to do a video today about the Graham Field razor blades. So what is a Graham Field? Well, a Graham Field razor blade is a medical prep blade that was made in the USA, and one of our members bought a bunch of them, wanted to try them out, and quickly discovered what he described to be the worst blade ever made. Or something to that effect. He decided to piff them out to see if any brave souls also wanted to try the worst blade ever, which a few of them took up the challenge. Most people tried it for a shave or two and quickly pulled it out of their razor. Just before May, somebody proposed a challenge for any users of the blade, since by that point there were a lot of them out there that had been piffed away and whatnot, to see if anybody could actually use these blades for the full month, or at least as much of the month as they could before they couldn't stand the blade anymore. About mid-month, I kind of caught on to this a little bit late. I took on the challenge and was piffed about 10 of these blades by a member, and so this is the culmination of that challenge for me, which as most people who have been watching my progress, they're quite amazed by it. Yesterday I actually did my 31st shave, so I have one full month of shaves on this blade. 2 past shaves is what I normally do, plus a little bit of touch-up. As you can see, a little bit dirty, but in my razor is the Graham Field blade. Now it has the arrows on it, and there is a letter and a number, which looks very similar to the Persona blades. So a lot of people think that they're the same blade as a Persona. Now, while they're probably made in the same factory as Persona, because it is the only factory that makes DE razor blades in the US, I assert that it is not the same blade. Might be made in the same factory, might be on the same machine, so it maybe has different toolings, different settings, I don't know, but it's a completely different blade. The US made Personas are my go-to blade that I use all the time, and these blades are very different. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to shave, and I'll keep talking. I'm going to be using my Jeeves of Hudson Street Conservatory soap, which is a new soap maker that quickly became one of my favorite soaps. They're from Missouri, and so they're local for me. And if any of you guys are from Missouri or Kansas, on Badger and Blade, look us up in the clubs and brotherhoods. We've got a group called the Show Me Shavers. So if you're from that area and want to hang out with some locals on the forum, we've got a spot there, and we do meetups. We try to do them every few months. We've had a couple, and we've probably got another one coming up here shortly, so if you want to get involved in that, just post in the thread and let us know. Just going to give this a quick lather. I always face lather about 95% of the time. Now, the first time I used this blade, definitely not impressed by it, to say the least. Most people noted that there was a lot of tugging and pulling. I mean, personally, I didn't notice that there was tugging and pulling per se, but that's just my perspective on the feeling. Possibly everybody was feeling the same thing that I did, but they interpreted it as tugging and pulling. For me, it just seemed like it was sucking to my face, and it wasn't smooth and didn't flow over my face at all, and I ended up having to go very, very slowly to prevent, like, I felt like I was digging into my skin. It wasn't until about shave 3 or 4 that I started to notice a little bit of improvement on the blade. And it kind of leveled out after about 3 or 4. It was definitely easier to shave, but still wasn't all that comfortable. And about shave 7, it got really good. for a couple of shaves, and all of a sudden it went downhill real quick. And not downhill as far as comfort-wise. What happened was, I don't judge my blades by how they feel when they're shaving. I judge them by how long my shave lasts. If I go midday and I feel my face and I've got a lot of stubble, then I know that my blade just didn't shave me as close as I want it to. I rarely ever feel a tugging or pulling sensation, rarely have rough shaves, but I just go by the feeling midday. If I feel like it wasn't close enough, then I'll go ahead and pull out the blade. So that's what happened around that time frame. Is I just had a particular shave that midday it just wasn't as close as I would want out of a shave. Just trying to go careful around my neck, it's pretty sensitive there. And at that point I thought the blade was done. I thought that was the indication that this thing was going downhill. But I had read a lot of people on the challenge post that had gone up to 12 and possibly up to 20 shaves off of this blade, so I thought, well, there must be something to it, so I just kept going. And once I really got a few more shaves, just kind of opening my brush up so I can add some more water. Once I got a few more shaves, it mellowed right back out, and I was amazed that from that point on, every single shave that I did with this blade actually seemed to get better and better. To the point where I was doing 2 passes that were very, very comfortable, BBS shaves, and one of my shaves I actually 2 passes, no touch-up, which is pretty rare for me. I always have a little bit of touch-up that I have to do on my chin line just based on the way my whiskers grow, and one of my shaves actually had no touch-up at all, which I was very surprised by. So around shave, I would say 16, 17 is probably where I got the best shaves out of this thing up until about 20 or so, and then it just kind of leveled off again. And I haven't really had any kind of degrade at all in performance out of this blade from 20 up until 31, which was yesterday. This is actually take 2. I tried to do this video yesterday, but my camera phone ran out of space and shut off on me, and I didn't realize it until I was done shaving. So this is the second time I'm doing this video for you guys. Now a lot of guys, like I said before, they try this blade once and they pitch it, which I can't really blame them for, because the first shave is actually pretty bad. If this was a blade that I purchased, that I had intended on using, and that was my first impression of it, I probably wouldn't continue to use it either. But since this was a challenge, I pressed through it, and I was actually rewarded by the performance of this blade. It's actually really, really good at this point. You can see 2 shaves down, or 2 passes rather, and still didn't cut myself, still a very comfortable shave. I just have a little bit of touch up, like I said, I usually do on my chin line. Alright, so just clean up a little bit. And for my aftershave today, I'll be using my favorite scent from St. Charles Shave, Fairway. And no sting at all, so I had a really good shave. Even though there's no blood, it still didn't have any cuts or anything like that, as indicated by the aftershave there. So there you go, 32 shaves on a Gramfield Med Prep blade. I know a lot of you didn't think it was possible, and I swear I'm not lying. I never took the blade out of the razor one time. In fact, when I opened it up to show you that the arrows inside the blade, that was only the first time I'd ever opened my razor. And I should say that I'm using a Merkur 34C HD razor. This is the same razor that I actually used to shave when I used a feather blade for 66 shaves. So I knew if I was going for longevity that this is the razor that I wanted to use for it. So I don't know how much longer this blade has left on it. It's definitely not as good as it was before, so I feel it coming downhill a little bit. I will keep using it as long as my shaves are comfortable and as long as they're shaving as close as I'd like them to be. So I'll keep posting in the thread and let you know once this blade finally does wear out and what my total was. So thanks for watching.